Aloha and welcome to a Hawaii News Now exclusive interview. I am joined by CEO of CheekiSwim, Gigi,
Hi.
and local artist Kelly. I am so excited to talk to you guys today. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So to start, tell me a little bit about CheekiSwim.
Yeah, of course. So I actually started my business 2 years ago, and I started in my college dorm. I go to Hawaii Pacific University, and it was my freshman year, and I basically wanted to pursue fashion, but I didn't really know where to go about, and I actually have eczema, and so whenever I wear certain materials, it causes me to get rashes and irritates it more.
Okay.
So I was having that issue when I first moved out here because primarily all I'm wearing is swimsuits.
Yeah.
And so I basically started trying to figure out, okay, which direction am I going to go? And then I wanted to go towards something that was going to not only be impactful towards the environment, but also towards myself and my issue. And so I basically kind of navigated towards swimwear, and I had no sewing experience at all, and so I remember I bought this really bad sewing machine off of Amazon, and whenever I was sewing my first piece, it broke within the first instant, and I just wanted to give up. I was like, this is so hard, I don't want to do this. And then I was like, I need to give myself some grace. I don't know how to sew, let me just practice. So for a week straight, I sewed every day, all day, and it was a hefty process. It really was, but that's kind of where it started. And then I basically just started practicing, and then I had my first collection, which was Mother Nature, and I basically launched that in April of 2023. And it was so surreal because from that point on, I just kind of started Cheeky, and that's kind of where it all came from. My college dorm.
Yeah. A college dorm room. I feel like that's everyone's business, hopes that it'll just work out in the end. So that's so great that it did.
Yeah.
So tell me, everything is handmade. Tell me a little bit
Yes.
about that process that you have to go through.
Yeah. So normally whenever I make my swimsuits, this is going to sound so funny, but I'll normally, before I create a collection, I will randomly have a dream of certain designs or patterns or layouts, and I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I will add it to my notes. My notes on my phone is literally a million pages. And I will do that, and then the next morning I'll do some sketches, and then I'll start doing sourcing. And a lot of my fabric and my materials are from local businesses here, but also on the mainland from other families that run their companies, and all their products are made not in manufacturers and stuff. And so I'll buy my fabrics and my thread and everything, and then I'll kind of pick out, I'll do little test runs, and I'll pick out samples of fabrics that I like and stuff. And then, I'll just sit in my room and blast some music, and I'll do some cutouts, and I'll do the measuring on myself. I also have some patterns for sizing. And I've used some of my friends to help me with size charts too, and and then I'll just sew all the pieces up, and if I like it, I'll go with it. If I don't, I'll have to tweak other things, but it's kind of how it's all made. It's just in my room. Now I have a little office in my house.
Okay.
Definitely a bigger step than doing it in my dorm.
Sure, step up.
Yeah. Because now I'm a senior. I started when I was a freshman, and so it's come a long way, but everything's handmade, and it is a process for sure, but now I can make one swimsuit in 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it used to take me 2 hours. Now it's just 15 minutes, and I go right through it.
That is some talent. That has to be hard. I've always wanted to learn how to sew. So tell me, how is it looking back now? You're about to graduate, and you started this in your dorm room. How do you feel now?
It's so surreal.
Yeah.
I actually have my professor, Mr. G, at HPU, and he helped me write up my business plan for my business. When I literally, the first week, I was like, I'm going to do this business. This is what it's called. And he was like, okay, let's write a business plan up. It was one of my classes. It was a marketing class. And so I wrote it up, and I was so, lost. I was like, I don't really know what I'm going to do or how far, if this is just going to be, something that lasts momentarily, or if it's going to be, a long-term thing. And now, from freshman year to senior, I wish I could have just, I just want to tell my younger self, Gigi, it's stressful right now, and all these nights that you're staying up late, but it is going to pay off. And I've met so many people, and I've grown so much, last year I was a part of the Hawaii Swim Show, and that was surreal, and I've gotten posted on so many different, like, articles and magazines, and just meeting everyone. I think the process of having a brand that really excites me is, like, meeting the people along, you know, the journey. So, yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. Wow, that is so cool. What a process. So you have a collab coming out with Miss Kelly here. So you kind of you work with artists, local artists, you work with small businesses, you work with models here. So you kind of have this little community going. How did you two meet, and how is it going? Yeah. Tell me a little about it.
Well, Gigi was sitting down eating ice cream in Hawaii Kai, which is where I live, and I was walking by, and the first thing that drew me to her was her really cute ruffle bottoms she was wearing. So I went up to her and I was like, "Hey girl, where did you get those? They're so cute." And she was like, "Oh, I actually made them." And I was like, "No way." And then that's when she told me she had CheekiSwim, and so I was like, "Well, if I'm an artist, like, you know, if you want to see my work, check out my Instagram, and if you ever want to do a collaboration, I could do the paintings for it. We could get it on fabric." And she was all on board. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of crazy how it happened, because I was leaving Sandy's Beach, and on the way, like, driving from Sandy's, that's one of my favorite drives. It is so scenic. It's so beautiful. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, oh my God, like, I would love to do, like, a shoot over here. And then my friend was like, I was actually working on a different, like, drop at that time, because this was about, I want to say February, March or so. I was working on a different drop, and my friend was like, oh my God, like, what's your plan for, like, your next drop after? And I was like, honestly, I don't know, but I'll probably start thinking about it in the next few weeks, because I like to stay ahead, you know? And literally 10 minutes later, I met Kelly, and that kind of, like, unfolded. Yeah. And then we actually started working together in April, and that's when we started doing, like, sketches and designs and meeting up, and we definitely took it slow because we really wanted it to be a very, like, thoughtful process. And I remember we met at Makalei Beach, and we did some sketching over here, and that was really cool, of, like, the different sizings of the, you know, how the plumeries are going to look like on the jumpsuits, and it was just so surreal. Yeah. And then she painted all of it.
Which so once we decided what we wanted to do, which was merging, like, the ocean and the land, which of course flowers are very popular, but particularly wanted to do plumerias, which it's interesting because our meeting place was always, like, Makalei Beach Park, which you have the ocean right there, and then the plumeria trees right there too. So I feel like subconsciously that inspired us, our environment, with our meeting ground. But yeah, so I first did a watercolor illustration of how it would look from the aerial view of the ocean, looking down, and you see how you've got all these kind of mixes of the blue shades of blue and the swirling motion. And then I did several different illustrations of plumerias in different colorways, but we just felt like the pink really pops against the blue.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure we had some pink, but for a variation we threw in more of a yellow and white and pink plumeria to mix it up. We played around with different arrangements. And then once we got to where we were like, okay, this looks great, we both agreed, then we went to the pattern making process. And the best pattern that we found was to do a mirror image. That way the water does a continuous flow. There's no, like, abrupt stop or weird kind of sections. It just does a very fluid flow. And I gotta say, like, Gigi is amazing to work with. I have done collaborations in the past, but never with swimwear. And this has been the most seamless, effortless, like, easy. Like,
I agree.
Our minds just really, really sync together, and we just feed off of each other's energy. She's very upbeat. She's very positive. And so
me too.
You know, yeah. It was just like whenever we did get together to work on the project, it was just like fun.
Yeah.
It just flowed, and things just worked.
It all just aligned. And the funnier part is that when we met up to, like, kind of go over, like, this collab, I was born in Connecticut, but I lived in Virginia for a good amount of time, and she's also from Virginia, right by me.
Okay.
And we had no idea, and so it was so surreal to kind of see, like, everything just slowly aligning in different aspects, you know. It was really cool.
Yeah, that alignment, just everything flowing. That's what everyone wants in
Yeah.
a business partner. Yeah.
No, exactly. And so, out of inspiration from everything that we created, we decided to name the collection Plumeria Seas.
Love,
And yeah, we're wearing the jumpsuits right now, and they're so comfy and cute.
They are cute. Yeah, I'm a fan for sure. And you said you've never worked with swimwear before.
No.
Have you done any other clothing?
Well, I've done a towel line that's in, chain stores for a local. It's like a KC Hawaii. It's a company that makes bags, towels, mugs, hula dolls. Like they sell all the kind of touristy stuff at ABC and places like that.
Sure.
So they commissioned me to do a towel design with a mermaid and the aloha on it 12 years ago, and they still are selling that towel.
Wow.
So
That's insane.
That's
so
pretty wild.
surreal.
But yeah, that was my first big collaboration that I've done. But yeah, the swimwear has been something in the back of my mind that I've always thought would be so cool, like seeing my art on swim. So I'm just really glad that Gigi took a chance with me and trusted my art, and
Yeah, I'm so happy with it. I think our visions just kind of like all just clicked,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like the dream collab,
Yeah.
you know.
What does it feel like seeing your artwork on clothing and in big stores like an ABC store? How does that feel?
Well, yeah, so when the towels are in the stores, like, it's pretty weird to see, like, oh, okay, I did that, and it's in commercial space, right? But for me, like, my favorite thing is I have 2 little girls, and their reaction is the cutest thing ever. I went to pick them up from school the other day, and Gigi had just made my, my jumpsuit, and so I go to pick them up, and each kid, was, their eyes just lit up, and they were like, "Mommy, you did it! Like, you're wearing it!" And so they knew it was happening, but, like, that meant more to me than anybody else's reaction to anything. Like, of course, I'm excited that my friends are excited, but seeing my kids, like, proud of me, and then they're telling their teachers and their other kids, like, "My mommy did that art," like, so.
They're so cute.
Yeah.
They're so cute.
So that's been the biggest kick of everything.
Yeah.
Well, and you're showing them that they're capable, that it's possible to do great things like that. That's awesome.
No, I love it. They're so cute. Oh my gosh.
Oh. So Gigi, what has it been like being a young CEO?
It's definitely been, like, I feel like, I think my biggest inspiration is my dad. He actually, is from Brazil, and him and my mom moved to the United States, and they kind of came here with nothing. And so my dad started really young. He moved here when he was 21, and so now that I'm 21 and in that position, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, I am your age when you first came here, so unknowingly, like, not knowing, like, what's going on and figuring it out. And so I feel like when I started my business, I was 18 years old. And so it feels really cool to be able to say that, like, I'm able to do it. And he always told me, he was like, you do what you love, you never work a day in your life, and you just have to go after it. Like, you have no reason not to be successful. You are creative, you work hard, you are getting an education, and so his words mean a lot. So that's what I kind of listened to. And so after that, I just kind of took chance and did it, and it feels really cool. Sometimes I do feel like because I'm young, some people might not take me as seriously until they see what I've done, or I get compared sometimes, but I feel like everyone's journey is so different and so unique, and that's what makes it so special.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was going to follow up with what are the challenges, but you kind of touched on that.
Yeah. I think it's really just like for myself, I am a very creative person, so trying to niche down onto what I want to do is the hard part, really.
Yeah.
I want to do everything, and I have been doing everything for the past 2 years. My best friend, she helped me make the website and start that up, but I've been running the website, running the business, packaging the orders, making the swimsuits, doing the finance, filing my taxes, doing the copyright, like, just everything. And it's really awesome because I've been able to learn every single aspect of running a business, but it can be a lot. So that's definitely the biggest challenge, is just navigating all of the different areas and making sure that it's still good and it looks good and it's done right,
Yeah.
I'm very particular with what's being done, and so I've, like, whenever I have a vision, I have an eye for it, like, I know what I want, but yeah, that's the biggest thing, really.
Yeah. And so you're eco-friendly. Yeah. Do you want
Yes.
to talk about that? And
Yes.
Just share a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so every single product I hand make, and most of my fabric is actually recycled from different like trash locations. So it's like recycled nets and stuff, like fishing nets, which is really cool. And all of the fabric is just so soft. It's so nice. I shop a lot from small businesses. Like I think that's like the biggest thing for me is I want to support other businesses. And so there's like this family that I've been working with them for now years, and that's where they do all of my custom printing. And then my dad's friend, he's the one that like does all the logos for me, so then I'll iron that on onto my bikinis and he'll send that out to me. And yeah, I just really try to support, you know, family oriented businesses and other people. And there's also Kaimuki Dry Goods here, and that's where I get like most of my thread and materials, and the aunties are so nice, and I've been going there for years now, and I love it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool. Like wearing a swimsuit that's made out of nets, essentially.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, swimwear or spandex can be very like harmful for the environment. A lot more gas emissions. So if there's a way to reduce it, you might as well go and get anything that's recycled. I mean, that's the best thing we can do. And so a lot of these places, they'll recycle that fabric and repurpose it. And there's also places on the mainland where if you have leftover fabric, you can send it to them and they'll repurpose it for you.
Wow.
So that's
Yeah.
really cool.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
And you're a small business, so you're like, I want to support. You know
Yeah.
how much work it takes.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing too is like I always ask people always ask me, they're like, oh, like if you get big, like are you ever gonna get a manufacturer? Like what's your next steps? And I'm like,
Sure.
no, I want to keep the mindfulness of Cheeky and the heart of it, which is everything is handmade here. And so I think my goal essentially would be to like have other girls that are just as passionate about fashion and sustainability, that want to learn how to sew and want to contribute to a business that supports that and promotes that. And yeah, that's kind of like my goal is I kind of want to stay away from all the fast fashion manufacturers. You know, I want to promote not being a part of, you know, overconsumption, you know, things that are slowly made. Like each collection that I do, I make about, it really depends, like 20 to 40 pieces, I want to say. But if there's obviously a demand, then I'll restock it. But normally it's a first come, first serve.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That is. I keep saying wow. No, I felt the swimsuits earlier, and they are super soft, and they
Yeah.
feel amazing. And yeah, I totally
Thank you.
get it. So I mean, you're very creative. You're designing. You're you're thinking of all these different ways to promote. And do you ever get creative burnout?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is a real thing. Like I said, I try to drop new items every, I want to say 2 to 3 months. I feel like that's a good point for me, you know, to like make a bunch of things, take a break, you know, make more. But yeah, like not too long ago, like this past winter, I had such a big burnout. Like, so last year I did the Hawaii Swim Show, and I not only had to make the swimsuits for the models, I had 18 models, but I also needed to make swimsuits for each single, like a bunch for each like design. So like each model was wearing a different piece, and I had to make so many for each. I made 156 swimsuits in 2 weeks. My fingers had blisters everywhere. I was like flipping, because I flip strings with a bobby pin. So I'm like flipping strings, listening to music, like just like on road trips. Because at this time, before Hawaii Swim Show, I went back home to go visit my family. And we were going on a road trip. We always road trip everywhere. And I was in the car for 15 hours. Wow. And I'm just flipping strings, like not sleeping. Like, and after that, I just felt so like emotionally drained. I was like, okay, like I just did all of that in 2 weeks, and then I had the Hawaii Swim Show 3 weeks later in August, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. So then I took like 3 months. I didn't create for 3 months, which was probably the longest time I've ever taken a break from. I just felt so drained and stuff. But after I like remember, I woke up one day randomly, and I just had this like burst of creativity, and I was like, okay, I'm back, and I'm better than ever. Yeah. So then from that point on, I was just constantly brainstorming, and I don't think I will ever allow myself to do something that intense without like giving myself some time to breathe, you know? But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But it's so worth it.
Yeah. Do you have any practices that you do to like kind of keep yourself creative in a way?
Yeah, so whenever I'm making swimsuits or any pieces, I don't sew one piece. You know, I do an assembly line. So each day I'll try to sew between 2 to 8 hours, and I'll do like, okay, one day I'll sew tops, one day I'll sew bottoms, one day I'll sew the strings. And then what I'll do is like the next 2 days I'll take time for me to go to the beach and relax, but during that time period I'm flipping everything inside out. So I'm somewhere where I'm like, you know, in a nice positive space and I'm having fun. So I'll try to just like give myself some breaks and kind of not try to cram it all in a few days, you know. So I try to do that, and then I also try to give myself rest days, of course, so I'm not just like doing that all day every day, you know, especially because I work on 3 different boats, so I'm working, going to school, and then any time in between I'm trying to like get that done. So
Yeah.
it's a lot, but like I said, it's
Well,
also worth it.
I'll say you're doing a good job because
Thank
TV
you.
seems very successful.
Yeah.
It seems like you guys have a great presence on social media too.
Yes.
What has that been like in your business? How has that played a role?
It's been awesome. I feel like I haven't done any paid promotions. It's all just been word of mouth, you know? It's
Wow.
all been like telling one person to another. I also host shoots for every collection. And then in between I'll host like a shoot here and there to just get some content for the pieces. And I'll always do these like model calls. I'm like, hey, like anyone that wants to shoot, like you don't have to be like a signed artist or model or anything, like anyone can come. And I'll just do these sign up sheets, and then I'll kind of go through and like pick out, okay, like these girls or these guys, whatever. And yeah, so I've met hundreds of people throughout this process, and everyone's been like, okay, from one person to another and vice versa. And I love making content. Like I love styling. That's one of my passions, is fashion and styling. So every piece that I make, I try to make it very versatile so that it could be styled in so many different occasions, whether you're going to the gym, you're going swimming, you're going out, or you're just hanging out all day with your friends or whatever. So yeah, and I'll try to make engaging videos, and you know, that's been doing really good. You know, I just want to make relatable content. I want to keep it very real. Like I don't like posting anything that's fake. I don't like keeping it not authentic. Like I want people to see like what's going on, like how it's being made, the BTS, like the behind the scenes of the shoots and the process and all that. I think that's really key and essential for a brand.
Yeah. I saw you recently did a I don't know how you framed it, but you made how long it takes you. You showed the whole process, and it was amazing to see everything that it takes to go into a swimsuit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And you have done some community outreach. I know you said that you wanted to do like teaching women how to sew. You did that, right?
Yes, I hosted my first bikini workshop. It was a couple months ago, actually. I believe, I want to say it was like March, April. Every day just kind of blends in together nowadays. But yeah, I posted and I was like, hey, like, because I have an office in my house, and I was like, hey, like, I really want to teach people how to sew, and I want to teach everyone like how to make their bikini. And so I posted this workshop, and I got so many DMs, but I only had 20 spots available. Super small, but it was still so amazing. And I had all these girls come, and they all learned how to sew, and it was such a surreal moment because I was giving them a piece of something that I am so passionate and I love, and they were coming in a space where so much time and energy is put into creating all these pieces. And so that was so successful. I had 2 sessions, and so they ran about 2.5 hours, 3 hours, because it was 10 girls in each session, and each of them made a swimsuit, and it was just such a cool process. And then that night, I texted my girlfriends and I was like, hey guys, like I have a bunch of fabric that's left over. None of this is going to waste. We're having a girls' night. So all of my friends came over, and like we made bikinis. Some of us made matching bikinis.
How
and
fun.
it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be part of that girl group, and
Yeah.
I definitely will want to go to the next one. That
Yes.
sounds, sewing's a great skill to
It
have.
is. I'm thinking about hosting one pretty soon, probably around the fall, even though we don't have fall here, but like fall time. And I'm super stoked about that, so I'll definitely be posting about that for sure.
Yes, post on the social media.
Yeah.
Wow. What was it like for you, Kelly, to be a part of a shoot? And like be a part of that process of
I loved it. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it was really fun. So the shoot that I went to was where the girls were paddling out into the ocean over at Rock Piles, and it was just magical. It was like the suit just blended right in with the ocean, and it was so scenic, so picturesque. It was gorgeous. So from a bird's eye view, I got to watch it all play out, and that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
To see and to be there for.
Yeah.
I feel like all of your shoots look like so much fun. They're on boats. They're
Absolutely.
Yeah.
all different themes.
My biggest thing is the creative process. I love the creative process. I love the styling. My previous collection, Cottage Blossom, that was also one of my very favorite shoots. Like, it was so scenic. It was actually at my friend's house, and I had a vision, and I like made a Pinterest mood board of everything, and I made these collages, and I wrote down, okay, these are the color tones I want to go for. These are the inspo. These are the pieces I'm going to order for the shoot. So I did like a whole page on it, and to see it like in real life was so surreal. And that's like my favorite thing is the creative process, the styling. That's why when we did our shoot for Plumeria Seas, we did the scenic road of Sandy's, and we shot in my truck. I have a 1994 F-150, and so it just matched so well with the swimsuits, and we combined that and the girls in like the vintage style. We were kind of going for like a vintage like Roxy Billabong kind of vibe, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Surf chat.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the paddle out.
Exactly.
It tells like a little story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we shot it on Super 8. I love Super 8 so much, and I feel like that really like
Can't wait to see
yeah,
it.
oh my
We haven't
gosh.
seen
Wow.
it yet.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is all just in the works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Everyone's
still
seeing this like
good.
live time right now.
And we
Yeah.
have a shoot today too.
Yeah.
Later today for the jumpsuits.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to
Yeah.
see it.
I'm
That
so
is
excited.
so exciting. Yeah. Wow. So obviously plumerias were the inspiration for this one. How does living in Hawaii like affect and inspire, and what role does that play in your business?
I think for me, I like when I moved out here, I really wanted to learn a lot about the culture, the history, but also about the land. And working on boats, I learned so much about the land, and I guess I was just really impacted by it, and I wanted to create something that was environmentally conscious and aware and like sustainable. And so that's why my drops are super small. Like, I don't like to produce overconsumption or promote that, and I keep it very limited. And I think with this collection, we were both inspired by growth and the ocean, and just like, you know, I feel like for me, flowers are my favorite thing, especially plumerias. I love them; they're beautiful. And so then when Kelly brought the inspiration too, I was just blown away.
Yeah. Like I said, that Makalei Beach Park scene, I mean, it is what our design is. It is that beautiful, tranquil, like that light blue, like tealish color ocean mixed with the plumerias. And I think that if we were in Chicago, that design would not have sparked out of our brains to do. So definitely our environment, 100%. Hawaii is what
the basis
inspired this design.
Yeah. And I think it's so surreal how when we came up with it, like kind of like the concept of this drop, and then she designed the patterns out of inspiration of our environment, it just flowed so naturally, so quickly, kind of like the artwork. Everything's in the perfect flowing motion, and that was just such a surreal feeling. Like, I keep saying surreal, but it's just so true. Like, everything is just so like timeless, and I'm just so happy that everything's playing out the way that it is. And yeah, it's been amazing.
Yep, I agree.
I think surreal is a good word to explain it. You know, it's a crazy story that you have, starting in your dorm room.
Yeah.
Now you're this business,
It's so-
and
wow.
you're just meeting people at an ice cream shop, and like your business is booming. It's amazing.
Thank you.
I do want to ask a little bit about your personal style.
Yes.
I admire it. I think it is
Thank
amazing.
you.
You have a very good vision, and you can tell you're like storytelling with your outfits. You're having fun with it. What inspires your personal style?
So, like I said, I've always just been such a creative person, and I've always loved fashion. Like, I remember when I was younger, I would see, like, all the older girls, and I'd be like, I want to be like them. Like, I want to dress so cool and funky, and, like, for me, in anything I do, it's all about the details, you know? So, whether that's the jewelry, or the leggings, or the purse, or the hat, I think I love to combine a little bit of everything. So, for me, it's just really about, like, I love pops of color, you know? So, not too long ago, I planned a trip. I'm actually going to San Diego this week.
Oh.
And I've been like kind of like curating my outfits for the trip and stuff. And so I was like, okay, I want to kind of go for bright tones. So some of my outfits that I was making, I have this like burgundy like tight with like this like bright like green kind of dress. It's like pretty funky, and then white slippers, and then or like flats, and then I just love to incorporate really funky colors. You know, I'm young, and you live every day, you die once, you know, and I want to make sure that every single day I have an outfit that I'm happy about, you know, and I love to just style up and just dress cute, you know. You never know who you're gonna run into. I ran into Kelly.
Right.
We're in the Cheeky.
Yeah. She liked your style. Yeah.
Love her style.
Yeah. It's definitely fun, and I would explain it as funky. Yeah. You
Yeah.
have some great colors in there.
Yeah.
Do you have like a certain person that you look up to for inspiration, or I know you said older girls.
Yeah, I guess like now I don't really have like a person that I look up to. I have more so of just like my Pinterest. You know, my Pinterest feed, I love mood boarding, and so I'll constantly mood board like colors and like different like eras, and that's kind of what inspires certain outfits and certain like occasions for me, you know. I I made a video a while back, and it was like fall inspired outfits, and so I was inspired by like Gilmore Girls, but with a funky twist. So I was doing like fall kind of outfits, and I had like this like beautiful white jacket, and it had like fluff all around it, and then I had my burgundy leggings and like just really nice pops of color like orange and pink and blue. You know, I just kind of, whenever I wake up and I'm like, okay, I want to wear this color, and I don't know how I'm going to incorporate it, but I'm going to find something out.
Yeah.
So then I just do that. And I thrift a lot, you know, and I love thrift flipping. So anytime I go to the thrift store, I always find some piece that's like a statement piece, and I work around that piece, you know.
Yeah. I love thrifting too.
Yeah.
It's a good way to go
It
about
is
shopping if you have that addiction like
It
most
is.
of us.
It's affordable.
Yeah.
You find so many unique pieces, you know. You
Yeah.
can't go wrong.
So I wanted to ask, swimsuit trends are kind of always changing. They're always evolving. How do you keep things timeless while kind of trying to keep up with a trend?
Mm-hmm. I think for me, like I'll obviously like keep up with trends, but also I just kind of do my own thing. And I feel like I have, I mean, I'm biased because it's obviously myself, but I feel like I have a pretty good eye on like what pieces I think are going to go out quickly versus what pieces are going to stay longer or what pieces are going to circle back, you know? I think right now, gingham just made a comeback. Polka dots are making another comeback. So I think it's just really about like knowing like history of fashion, knowing what was trendy then, what are the colors coming back, because it's really about the colors. Like certain pops colors were popular in the 70s, and now they're slowly making their way back with polka dots or with pinstripes, you know. So it's just really about just like kind of knowing your fashion history and having an eye for it. I mean, I just kind of go about with that, and I'll also ask my friends, and I'll do polls on the Cheeky Instagram, be like this or that, you know.
Yeah. And I feel like that's important, that interaction with your customers, and but also trends are constantly, it's a cycle, you know. It'll come back if it's gone. Yeah,
of course,
for sure.
It always makes its way back.
Yeah. What inspired the name Cheeky?
So this is actually so funny.
Okay.
I was working at a speakeasy when I first moved out here.
Which one?
The Blind Dogs.
Oh.
They actually, I think they shut down.
Oh, they
Yeah,
did?
yeah. I don't know if they opened another one in Kaneohe. I'm not too sure, but yeah, at the time it was the Blind Dogs. And I was working there, and I remember just being there, and I was like, I am capable of doing so much more, you know. I was a hostess. It was not a bad job. Like, it was super chill. Like, I had a great, like, crew. Like, it was really nice. But I knew I wanted to do something more, and I really wanted to pursue fashion. I was also in this, like, mixed space of switching my major because I did dual enrollment in high school. So I did criminal justice. And I originally wanted to go with that alignment of pursuing a criminal justice degree. And I was like, you know what, like, I think I was only doing that because it was a safe route. It was a guaranteed job. Like, I want to do something a little bit more riskier, you know? Like, what are the chances? In life, you're guaranteed a no, but you never know about that yes. And so I remember sitting at work or standing at work, and I was like drawing. I was just drawing for fun, like just like some fashion stencils of like clothes and stuff. And then my manager came up to me and she was like, "Have you ever thought about like having like a fashion business?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm actually right now like in the works of like figuring that out. Like I want to go for swimwear, but I don't really know like what to name it or what to do." So her and I literally like bounced back ideas, and we were like, what if I named it this, or what if I named it that? And then she was like, "Well, I always see your Instagrams and you're always in such a cute little cheeky bikini." And I was like, "Cheeky."
Wow.
Cheeky.
Yeah.
And so then it like stuck with me, and I wrote it down, and I remember the original drawing that I did. It was like cheeky, but there was like two cherries connecting to it. And then I was like, I don't really like this. Like, I want something different. So then I was like, I kind of want to incorporate like a hibiscus, you know? I want like a really pretty flower with it or something. I want these kind of colors. So then I was sketching out the logo and the design, and then for a week or 2 weeks, it like stuck with me. I was like, I'm gonna name it Cheeky. I'm gonna name it Cheeky. So then I told my boyfriend, and I told my friends, and I told my parents. I remember the first person I called was my dad, of course, and I was like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna go with this business. I don't know how I'm gonna start it," but at the time I had $300. I was like, I'm gonna order all the materials with this money that I have right now from my paycheck that I just got, like, and I'm gonna try to do this. And I think I'm gonna call it CheekiSwim. And he was like, "Oh, okay, Cheeky, that sounds nice, you know?" And it just stuck. And then literally those next following weeks, my mom would text me. She'd be like, "How's Cheeky going?" And everyone asked, "How's Cheeky?" And I was like, "Okay, this is the name. It's Cheeky."
Yeah. That's a fun little story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheeky bikinis.
Yeah.
They're always in the...
And I try to make bikinis like, so whenever I make the string bikinis where you can tie it on your sides, I try to make it where like you can pull it out so it can have a little bit more coverage. So when you're with your family on family vacations, you know, you can have that a little bit covered. But then when you're with your girls or hanging out at the beach yourself, you can cinch it up and make it cheeky.
Get that tan. Yeah. I like it. I think it's brilliant. Adjustable. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say sets Cheeky aside from other swimsuit businesses in Hawaii? There is such a large
Yeah.
industry here, if you will.
I mean, I think for me, I run it all. I run the whole show.
Right.
And I make everything by hand. It's not something that's made in a manufacturing place. And it's designed here, processed here, made here, and we sell internationally. I actually just started selling internationally last year, but yeah, I just think it's the process of it being handmade fully from start to finish. There is no in-between factors, you know.
Wow. I love it.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to add?
I just think the biggest thing that I tell everyone is, like, if you have, like, a vision or if you have an idea or anything like that, like, you're one choice away from a completely different life. And if I had doubted myself, you know, obviously don't get me wrong, like, there were doubts along the process. Like, I would break a needle, or my machine wasn't working, or my bikini just wasn't good enough. And I would sit there and I would ponder, but, you know, if I had given up, I would not be here right now doing what I love, meeting all of you guys and everything. And I think that's the really cool part, is that you're literally one choice away from something different. So if you have that desire and you have that passion, like, don't doubt yourself. Trust yourself enough in your intuition that, like, you are capable of doing it, and just do it.
Yeah. I know we just started the school year, so this might be a perfect thing. What would advice be to a freshman right now?
Oh my
There's
gosh,
so many
yes.
girls that just came to the island, and I'm sure some of them would like to start a business.
Yeah.
What would your advice be?
I think the biggest thing, at least moving here, is to be very aware, you know, learn about the history, learn about the people, respect, and then also aside from that, in the business aspect or in the dream aspect, you know, when you're moving out here, you're alone. Most of the time, most college kids are moving away far from the known to the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen, what's going to occur, and the only thing that you can really do is you have full control of yourself, not of anything else. So just really give yourself grace, you know, and just, like, have fun, socialize, interact, explore, shop local. That's the biggest thing too. And just, like, if they have that kind of vision of like, I'm moving here and I want to start a business, like I'm a freshman at college, like just do it. Like ask people. Like you will never go wrong for asking, And I have girls all the time DM me and they're like, hey, like how did you start your business? And I'll always send them a voicemail. I'm like, hey, like I'm not going to text you this. I'm going to send you an audio because I love to yap, and then I'll just like talk about it, Yeah, it's just like, just literally just do it. Just kind of go after what you want, have fun, explore. And I think college, especially as a freshman, that's the time of your life where you're really deep diving and understanding yourself and like learning about you and what are the next 4 years going to entail of, And so you really just have to make sure that you surround yourself around good people, people that inspire you, and that's kind of where your success will be at.
Yeah. Go find that professor that'll help you make a business plan.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get a mentor.
Yeah, they'll help you get it going. What is next for Cheeky? To wrap this up, tell me what you have coming up.
Yes, so we obviously have the new drop, Plumeria Seas. Super, super exciting. That launches September 12th online, but you can shop in person on the 10th at Aloha Tower. But we're going to be posting more information on the Instagram, so just make sure you guys are following CheekiSwim for you.
Go ahead and give the Instagram right now.
Yeah, it's at the Cheeky Swimwear, but it's Cheeky with an I.
Okay.
So not a Y. But I think in the next year, I really want to just start selling Cheeky like around the island, So I was selling in store, but I want to do something more of like myself. So I really want to get a van and do like a portable bikini shop and just kind of sell that around and go from place to place,
That would be fun.
Because I have a truck and I've been kind of like planning and doing some makeshifts, so that'll be coming soon, hopefully in the next 6 months to a year.
Wow.
Hopefully, But yeah, that's definitely something that I really want to do next.
I love that. Just park it at Sandy's Beach
Yeah.
and let the customers come to you
Yeah.
at the beach. That's perfect. Well, anything else? Any last words? Anything to end?
I think just, go after what you want, and I'm here now all because of one choice, and I got to meet Kelly and I got to meet you.
Yes.
I'm just thankful. That's really thankful.
Well, I'm so thankful that you guys came in today and you were willing to talk and chat with me. And
Thank you.
yeah, I loved hearing about this. I'm excited for this drop. I'm going to have to get in line and get myself one. So mahalo, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching. This is Hawaii News Now exclusive interview. It'll be on our website, news app, and streaming services. Mahalo.